The Senate Special Committee on Aging will come to order. Today, the committee convenes to discuss a critically important issue to the American people, the state of retirement security in our country. I look forward to our witnesses' testimony today and the wisdom that they bring to us, the ideas they're sharing. And with that, I would yield to the ranking member, Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate you holding a hearing on such a very important topic today. Seniors all across the country will benefit from hearing what we're having to say today and hearing from our witnesses, but more importantly, or at least not more importantly, but equally as important, folks who are in their 30s and 40s should benefit from the conversation we have about the importance of retirement. Having spent 25 years in the insurance and financial services industry, one of the things I realize is that we don't talk often enough about the importance of retirement security and how we achieve retirement security. For so many of our seniors today, retirement security, when you're working paycheck to paycheck, seems to be outside of your grasp. It seems to be a little too far when you have a little too little money left at the end of the month. One of the reasons why I co-sponsored a resolution designating October as National Retirement Security Month is because I want to make sure that we continue to emphasize the importance of focusing on retirement security for our seniors and frankly for those in their 40s and 50s. Over the course of the past decade, the population of those 65 years and older has grown by more than 1/3 in just 10 years, a trend that we expect will continue. Today, I am releasing a report entitled The American Dream in Our Golden Years, Improving Retirement Security and Building Independence. The report reviews the current trends and gaps in retirement savings, recent reforms, and proposals to strengthen America's retirement system. One important issue outlined in this report is retirement account leakage and auto portability. Roughly 15 million retirement plan participants change jobs every year. When my grandparents and my mom, when they started working, they literally stayed at the same employer for a very long time. My mother's been with her employer for 45 plus years. That trend is something in the rearview mirror. The average person today will work for between 7 and 11 employers. That means that every time you change jobs, you have a chance to withdraw your money from your 401k, and that's what we mean by leakage. About $92 billion leaked out. The importance of that is that when you have that kind of leakage on an annual basis, that means fewer dollars will be there when you really need it the most, when the future you wants to retire and live comfortably. Too much of your resources may have leaked out along the way. We want to today talk about ways to address that really important issue. One of the witnesses that we will hear from today is Spencer Williams at Retirement Clearinghouse on how auto portability is slowing retirement account leakage, making it easier for folks to live more comfortably while retired. I look forward to hearing from Mr. Williams and working with my colleagues in Congress so we can increase retirement security for all Americans.
So next we'll turn to Mr. Williams. He'll be our last witness for testimony today. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman Casey, Ranking Member Scott, and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for your work to improve the retirement system. It's a particular honor to be here today because I live in the Greenville area, a pastoral paradise in the upstate of South Carolina, and I have the pleasure of being represented by Senator Scott. Retirement Clearinghouse is a fintech company with a mission to dramatically improve the system by preserving retirement savings for the many millions of Americans who change jobs each year. My boss, a fellow by the name of Bob Johnson, is the majority owner of Retirement Clearinghouse and its chairman of the board. You most likely know Bob as the founder of Black Entertainment Television. Bob invested in Retirement Clearinghouse more than a decade ago And over the years, I have personally witnessed Bob working on the front lines to help minorities and lower income families save for retirement through our work at RCH. Getting people to save is job one. But right after that, the most important improvement we can make is to help those same participants preserve their savings when switching jobs or facing career disruptions. Today, more than 30% of all participants and nearly 50% of minority participants cash out their retirement savings when they change jobs. The savings lost to cash outs adds up to about $100 billion every year, which means that each year, millions of people are cashing out their savings and putting their retirement at risk. That's why we created auto portability. Based on our work with a very large employer, we set out to fix the cash out problem and help preserve savings for America's mobile workforce, in particular for low-income workers. Auto portability is a simple concept. It's a technology that allows a person's account to automatically follow them from one employer's plan to the next. The idea is that if we make it easy and automatic, more people will keep their savings in a plan rather than cashing out. Let me give you a real-life example of the impact portability can have on a worker's retirement. In November of 2017, at age 30, Jaime Cervantes was hired by one of our clients, a very large employer in the healthcare services industry, which we would note is a high turnover industry. Jaime lives in El Paso, Texas. Over the course of 3 years and 2 job changes, our services helped Jaime preserve his savings. He made 2 good decisions that have kept his savings intact. And by normal retirement age, his current balance of $5,006 will grow to more than $50,000. There are literally millions of Jaimes that change job each year, and with a modest mix of a nudge and enabling technology, we can help them all. Thanks to support from the ranking member and other members of this committee, including Senator Warren, we were able to work with the Department of Labor on critical regulatory guidance that facilitated auto portability. Now we are working with 2 of the industry's largest providers, Alight Solutions and Vanguard, which will make auto portability available to over 16 million 401k savers. And that's just the beginning. Auto portability will have a tremendous impact on the retirement system. The Employee Benefit Research Institute estimates that auto portability can preserve $1.5 trillion in additional savings over the coming generation. Of that amount, more than $190 billion will be saved by Black workers. We're very appreciative of bipartisan support from members of Congress and their interest in legislation to help encourage system-wide adoption of auto portability. One way to do that would be to provide certainty and stability by codifying into law guidance issued by the Department of Labor. We also think it would be helpful to create modest tax incentives to encourage early adopters of auto portability. These gentle legislative nudges would deliver a tremendous benefit to working families. Thank you for your attention to these issues, your support for auto portability, and for the opportunity to testify today. I'll be pleased to answer any questions.
Mr. Williams, thanks very much for your testimony. I didn't acknowledge when I was making reference to witnesses' biographies that you too have a degree from Pennsylvania institution. Senator Scott noted the MBA from Pitt, so I've got to make sure that's on the record.
Just wanted to make you happy, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ranking Member Scott. Thank you, Senator Collins. I know we're awaiting a Democratic senator, but Senator Scott, in the interim, would you want to take your time?
Yes, sir, especially since we're trying to be timely for the vote schedule that we have coming up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Williams, thank you for being here with us today. I'd love to continue the conversation around the issue of leakage. I recognize that in 2015, about $92 billion was lost out of retirement accounts because of leakage. I like to make things practical from sometimes personal experience. I remember in my late 20s, I had a retirement account and decided that I needed the money for something else and took the money out, and I had to pay a 10% penalty and declare it as ordinary income. I did not understand that until I filed my taxes, and then I had a better understanding and appreciation for the definition of leakage. And so the importance of this issue, and if you think about $92 billion in 2015, over a decade, that's close to $1 trillion lost out of Americans' retirement accounts, in addition to paying a 10% penalty on those dollars, as well as declaring that nearly $1 trillion in a decade as ordinary income. That is a devastating impact to those retirement accounts. Can you just maybe give us more light on why people cash out of the retirement accounts and who is most likely to cash out of the retirement accounts? And that may bring us more focus on the importance of the issue of leakage as well as auto portability, making that decision not to cash out easier when you go from job to job.
Thank you, Senator Scott. Yeah, the data is very clear. The workers, plan participants who are most likely to cash out are those with the smallest balances. Okay, there is a very strong impulse to preserve retirement savings. I think Northern Trust did some research a few years ago, and they cited $10,000 as a very important inflection point. Somebody gets $10,000 in their retirement savings, and their mindset changes over the value of those savings. They start to think of it as permanent savings. So we're trying to solve the problem with auto portability down at the low end, where, frankly, we need to incubate accounts. We need to make it super easy, because every time someone changes a job, they're faced with a decision, okay, particularly at the very low end. And the decision is, I can keep this money intact, and sometimes that involves a lot of paperwork, and it's not easy, and it's cumbersome. It's hard to imagine in 2021 that we don't have a system that can electronically transfer monies between plans, which is essentially what we're building with auto portability. But those little hurdles cause people to say, well, it's easier for me to take this money. And just like you said, they pay taxes, they pay penalties. So, and then they lose the compound value of the earnings for, 30, 40, 50 years back. And that's just disastrous. If we can incubate the savings and get people to understand that preserving these savings, their financial well-being, their own internal sense of financial health improves dramatically.
I think that retirement is a very important issue and one that too many Americans struggle with bringing those two ends together. I think there are things that we can do that will help that process for every American, because every American should be able to work hard, save for retirement, and enjoy their golden years with peace of mind. I think there are things that should be done and must be done in order to accomplish that goal. Improve retirement plan access, boost plan participation, protect auto portability, provide better lifetime income options, improve financial literacy, boost health savings accounts, simplify Social Security decisions, and promote work. By ensuring these common sense solutions and building on the success of the Bipartisan Secure Act, we can help hardworking Americans retire comfortably. Again, thank you to everyone for being here with us today. Your testimony helps us to understand and to support the golden Americans, and I yield back.
Thank you, Ranking Member Scott. And once again, I want to thank all of our witnesses for contributing their time and their expertise today. If any senators have additional questions for witnesses or statements to be added to the record, the hearing record will be open for 7 days until next Thursday, November 4. So thank you all for participating. This concludes today's hearing.